Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Tutorial Tuesday. This week I'm doing a little combination. I got a request for some simple flowers, so I'm doing that, but then I also wanted to show you these gold foils. I haven't used them in a video before and they're kind of a cool different effect for the nail art. So starting out here, I've put on 2 coats of morning grind and I've done only about a 30-second cure for my second coat here. I did it that way just so there's a little bit extra tacky layer on there so that when I put my pigment on it sticks. So I'm using the Bronze Pigment from Young Nails. It's a really pretty like coppery color. It's probably my favorite pigment. And using the little fluff from the Selena Ryden brushes. Again, you can use a different brush. I've used other brushes in past tutorials, but this one I just find is really nice and really precise. And I'm just going to take a little bit, and a little bit of pigment goes a long way. So just a little bit on my brush and just pat it on where I want it. And you can kind of fade it out a little so it almost ombres, but it's really fun. You can just have fun and play with this pigment. And then making sure that you wipe this brush afterwards because you are touching that uncured gel. And now for these gold foils. Now these are kind of different. They are super, super thin, almost like gold leafing. It comes in a silver as well. It's the same, just in silver. And this stuff I like to take just an old oval brush. And I like to pull a piece of this out, and I find putting it on these like silicone, I have the silicone Uber Chic mat down right now, I find you can really pull it apart, like it sticks to the mat quite well. So I like to just pull pieces of this gold foil apart so you're working with smaller chunks. So now that I have some smaller pieces, I'm going to pick one of them up and lay it onto my nail in the approximate area that I'd like it to go. And the cool thing with these foils is you can lay it on and leave it like that. Just make sure that you have a bit of an edge so that when you go to put your top coat, it fully seals it in and cures properly. But what you can do is almost like stab it, like poke at it with your brush and break it up a little bit, and it turns it more into like a chunky gold. It almost looks similar to the pigment, but it's that gold leafed sort of look. So I'm just going to do that on all my nails here. And once I'm happy with the way that looks, I'm going to give it another 30-second cure just to really cure that base, and it's going to help grab onto the pigment and the foil. Okay, so now that I have my background done, I'm going to show you the simple flowers. So the first one I'm going to do is kind of more of a straight long leaf, and I'm starting with the gold metallic buttercream. So coming in with my swirly brush. Now you can use other brushes, again, a little bit of a longer detail or even a shorter liner brush, but you do want something with a slightly longer bristle on it. And I'm just going to start making approximate lines where I want my petals to go. It's pretty easy. I kind of color my petals in a little bit too, but I don't worry about fully filling it in. You'll see why in a moment here. So I'm just going to keep going, and I want my middle petal to be longest and then the outer petals to just slowly get shorter as they get more to the outside. And you can see a longer bristle works better for this because you are making those kind of longer, more flowy strokes. Okay, so now that I have my basic petal shapes down, I'm going to wipe this brush, and I'm actually going to wipe some of the gold out from the middle. So just kind of cleaning my brush, going back and forth, but this is almost giving the illusion of the shadow and the highlight in the petal. So you don't have just like a flat shape, you actually have something that looks a little bit more like a petal. And then I'm just going to give that a quick freeze, and coming in with my silver metallic buttercream, I'm going to outline each of the petals. So the way I like to do it is I line down the top edge first, so from the tip of the petal to the middle of the flower. And then I come in and just connect the other edge to the point of the flower. So I'm not bringing another line all the way into the middle, I'm just connecting these lines here. And then I'm going to give that a quick freeze, and I'm going to come in with the Black Tie buttercream and just make a simple little center of my flower. And then that can get a quick freeze as well. Now for the second flower that I'm doing, it kind of has more of the oblong oval kind of shaped, or like the almost cat eye shaped petals. Not such a simple shape, a little bit more of a flowing petal. So for this one, again, with my swirly brush, I'm going to start this flower with the center instead of starting with the petals. I find for this type of petal, if you draw your center first, it makes it a little bit easier. So I am drawing this with black. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but hopefully you can kind of see here. I've just sort of dragged in the black towards the center a little bit, just to kind of blend it. It almost makes it look more realistic. Now for these petals, I'm still using my swirly brush here, and I'm using the gold metallic again. And starting close to the center with a little bit of a heavier pressure, you're going to push with your brush, and as you get to the middle, kind of turn in a little bit and lighten your pressure towards the tip. That gives it a little bit more of the illusion of being like a petal that goes from thick to thin. So it's really about the pressure that you're using with your brush. And then I like to cure, especially this middle petal, just because if I make a mistake or if I don't like the next petal that I do, I can wipe it and not worry about ruining this nice petal that I just made in the middle. So like this, I just made the petal too long, because again, your middle petal should be your longest petal, so I can just wipe that really quick and try it again. And then once I'm happy, just give that a quick cure. And then with my shorty brush, I'm just going to come in and add a few little dots for details. There is no right or wrong way of where you put your dots. Just get artistic with it, whatever you like. And then for this particular one, I'm going to fill in the middles of these petals with a little bit of my copper pigment, just to kind of tie my whole look together here. So I'm just laying down a little bit of flex. You can use any clear gel though. And I'm just drawing inside of where the petals are, because I don't want that pigment to actually touch the gold. I just want it to be just slightly inside. And then again with my little fluff, placing a little bit of that pigment in there. And then I am going to give that a full 2-minute cure. And finishing this look off with some Super Shiny from Light Elegance today, giving that a full minute cure, a quick wipe, and finishing with some oil as always. There we have it. So some simple flowers, and they don't have to be perfect, which is the beauty of them, and a little bit of gold foiling and some pigment powder for you today. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, comments and questions in the section below. If you have any suggestions for videos, feel free to email me at tessa@nailbasics.ca. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram.